Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 237 of the Ask the Coach show, where PingSkills helps you improve your table tennis. The drill of the week is on receiving serve. We'll give an update on the power of practice competition, and in the questions, we'll talk about standing on the table, unstable forehand topspins, and how to tell if there is no spin on the ball. I'm Jeff Plum. And as always, Super Coach Alois Rosario is here with me to answer your questions. Welcome, Alois.
Thank you, Jeff. And a warm night in Melbourne last night.
It certainly was. What did the temperature gauge get? What was the lowest it got to?
I don't know, but it's still like in the high 20s around here.
Yeah, it was like 38 yesterday. And it just didn't cool down much at all, did it?
No. I saw 42 on my car temperature gauge driving around yesterday. So, yeah, it was
42.
Warm.
That's pretty hot. And I don't know what that is. Does anyone know what that is in Fahrenheit?
Nah.
42 hot. Celsius to Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
It is 107.
Yeah, that's hot.
107 Fahrenheit. Wow, that is hot. All right, Alois, how did your spin catcher practice go yesterday?
Yeah, so another good day, you know. It was good. I had some pretty good feeling, and I tried the Waldner. So we've
For people that haven't seen, what is the Waldner?
The Waldner is where he spins it one way, then spins it the other way, and then catches it. So,
it looked pretty impressive, and he hit it pretty high so he spun it one way, then hit it really high this way, and then caught it.
Yeah. It was surprising. It was actually a little bit easier than the Marcus Freitas because there's not as much spin on the ball when you're actually going to catch it because you've spun it one way, and then by spinning it the other way, you haven't got as much spin going this way. And I think also when you hit it up a bit higher, by the time the ball comes down, it's lost a little bit of that spin momentum too. So not saying that it's easy, but I think it's easier than the Marcus Freitas version of the spin catcher. So, but it was lots of fun.
Excellent. Yeah, it seemed like you were surprised again how quickly the time went. The thing that I noticed still about the Marcus Freitas one is he seems to get so much backspin or so much spin really on that first hit, and the ball seems to just grip on the rubber and roll up it, and it stays vertical for quite a long time until it's almost finished, and then he switches it over. It's really incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is incredible, and I'm getting better. But yeah, he puts so much spin on that first ball, and then it's. So, but it was interesting. So yesterday's point of interest, I think, was, the day before I was starting to lose a little bit of motivation and interest by then having something a little bit different to focus on with the Waldner, and also, I suppose, a little bit of success early. The motivation increased. And as you said, yes, the 5 minutes went like that again. So
that is brilliant. Yes, excellent. Well, other people are still sending in their videos, which is good. So we're seeing some progress there. Keep working on it. And if you haven't started yet, get involved. Pick a skill, the table tapper or the spin catcher. Film your session, 5 minutes a day. Send us your videos, and you'll be in the running in our competition to see if you can win a premium membership. Get involved.
Yeah, and
when you upload the video, use the hashtag #PowerOfPractice and let us know about the video.
Yeah, and you don't need to send a video in every day. And I tell you, like, it's only the 9th of March now, and I feel like I've been doing this for a long time. You've still got 22 or 23 sessions that you can do till the end of the month. So get into it. Power of practice. It's really interesting.
It is, yes, absolutely. Now, yesterday, Alois, the PingSkills question of the day, we knew this was going to be popular because it's about equipment. It was, what is the best rubber around at the moment? What did people say?
Yeah, so again, probably unsurprisingly, yeah, that's a word. Tenergy came out, pretty strongly. There were a lot of people that do love their Tenergy, but Abdul said Rhythm P won't count the Tenergy series because of the high prices, and I think that is interesting because it does rule it out for a lot of players. So because of the high price of Tenergy, most people can't afford the Tenergy rubber, so it's not even an option. So then they've got to look for other things. Some other options. So Hurricane 3 was very popular. That was one that came up a bit. A few silly people going for anti-power, an anti-spin and long pimples, but
I think I saw some Dr. Newbar long pimples in there.
Yes, yeah. No, there was a few in there, and but I think the interesting thing is that Tenergy, as I said, does come up on top, but that price does really knock it around for some people.
Okay, and besides Tenergy, what seemed to be the next most popular, just as a rough gauge, just looking through?
Yeah, so Hurricane 3 was popular.
Yep.
Some Raxa 7s, and I like Luke's comment. Where is Luke's comment? For the price, durability, and overall performance, you can't go past Exium Vega Pro. I like it too, Luke. I do like Exium Vega Pro.
There you go. All right. Interesting discussion. If you haven't seen it, you can check it all out and all the replies on our Facebook page, or you can see some on our blog. Now, that moves us to today's PingSkills question of the day, which is, how old is too old to be a world-class player? So as I just mentioned, you get involved by going to our Facebook page, so facebook.com/PingSkills, or to the blog at www.pingskills.com/table-tennis-blog. Let us know how old is too old to be a world-class table tennis player. All right, that moves us on to the drill of the week. We do this every Wednesday. Alois, what are we going to discuss today?
Yeah, today we're going to discuss how to practice your receiving. So a lot of players, come to us and say, "Gee, I really, I can't return serves." The really important key is to get out on the table and find a partner that has reasonable serves and just go out and receive and receive and receive. So I suppose the hardest part in all this is finding that person that has some good serves. But what you need to do as a team effort is one person is practicing their serves, the other person is practicing their return of serve. They develop their serving, you develop your ability to return serves better as well. So that's a really key factor in your practice sessions. So during your service practice time, don't then waste the time at the other end. And if your partner's practicing serving, just tap the ball back to them. Practice your receiving, but get yourself set up in your proper receiving position. So not just standing there and pushing the ball back, but each time that your partner serves, you need to get down into your ready position, do your proper pre-point routine, and then try to return the serve. So often there will be one serve that you find difficulty with. So get your partner to just do that serve repetitively for a few minutes, and you'll be surprised at how quickly you start to understand the angles that you need to get that ball back on the table. And then you need to broaden it out. So then once you do understand that angle, then you broaden it out to your partner just varying the serve a little bit. So they might do the same serve. So they might do the tomahawk serve with backspin, which is the one you don't like. So then they might start doing backspin, side spin, top spin, and start to adjust the angles for that as well. And then it's also important to get them to serve it to slightly different positions, because then it's a matter of making them move to the right position and being able to to get the right angle. You know, if you're just stationary here and you have the angle, get the bat, and you have the angle right, that's okay. But then once you move from this position over to this position and need to make that angle, then it adds a whole new level of difficulty. So you need to move up in steps when you're practicing your receiving of serve, up to the level where your training partner can serve any serve to anywhere on the table, and then you're able to adjust to those different serves. But, you know, we always say the key to getting better at receiving serve is doing a lot of receiving practice of different types of serves. Find good servers and just throw yourself into it as much as you can.
Yeah, great tip. And it is amazing because everyone practices their forehand topspin or their backhand topspin a lot. But you find a lot of people don't even think about returning serves, so they hardly ever practice it, or they only practice it during games, which is not always the best situation to get better at it. And yeah, this just gives you a bit of a framework for improving your serve, and you have to receive every time your opponent serves in a match. So it happens so often, it's really critical skill to practice. So take those tips that Alois said, work on those incremental levels, and I'm sure you'll get better. So this week, get out and make sure you do at least a session on practicing your receiving serve. All right, Alois, everyone is excited because it's time for this day in history. What happened on the 9th of March?
Yes, well, it's sort of interesting. It's the birthday of Bobby Fischer. So he was born in 1943, died in 2008 when he was 64. But I remember you, Jeff, a long time ago talking to me about a movie about Bobby Fischer.
Oh, yes, there was a movie called Searching for Bobby Fischer. Really good movie, not about Bobby Fischer, but now
what do you mean
mentioned
not about Bobby Fischer? It's Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Yes, because there's a young guy, it's based on a true story, called Josh Waitzkin, who was a chess prodigy. So he was searching for Bobby Fischer, kind of. But yeah, it was really interesting movie. It talked a lot about parents dealing with this kid that was really good at chess, and not just that, all the parents of other kids that were playing chess. And there's a couple of funny scenes where the organizers of this chess tournament just get so frustrated with the parents because they're just too involved in the whole thing, and they just lock them in a room away where they can't watch any of the chess, away from the kids. And it's just really funny. I mean, everyone knows about how parents at sporting or chess events get, you know, way over the top. So it was great. It's a really good movie. Highly recommend it. Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Ah, interesting. On a related topic, last night I went to my son's soccer club, and they had a presentation by the Soccer Federation from referees about respect and responsibilities. And they talked a lot there about parents as well. You know, the parents on the sideline yelling and screaming at the referee, and yelling and screaming, and, you know, trying to call offsides and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, very, very relevant. And there was some really good videos there that they showed of a parent who was who, you know, just kept on yelling and screaming at the ref and at the players and at his own son. And in the end, they said, you know, if that sort of carries on, then they showed this parent just standing in a field by himself, because basically the kid had given up because he didn't like playing anymore, and the, you know, the refs, you know, called the game off, and et cetera, or whatever it was. But in the end, you know, there's just this guy yelling and screaming in the field because he's destroyed the whole game. So yeah, relevant.
Wow, that's really good. They're sort of trying to bring that to the fore. I mean, as a parent, I do find it hard, Alois. I mean, you're watching and you just want your kid to do well, and it feels natural for me to yell out. So I'm really working hard not to yell out too much, just to, you know, play it cool. So I can always keep getting better at that.
And I tell you, Jeff's got a pretty loud voice. I've heard it. But yeah, no, you're not too bad, I'm sure, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. There was my son plays cricket, and he's in the under 12s, and it's like the C team, so it's not even the A team, so it's not like the super competitive. But there was one dad in there that was just like always, like you said, yelling out at cricket, and the kids made the semi-final, and they were losing quite badly, and the opposition was bowling, and normally the coaches just umpire, but because it's the finals, you actually pay for some umpires to come along. And there was this one kid that came in to bowl against our team. And from the sideline, so you're in cricket, you're miles away, so you can't really sell. This guy starts yelling out, he's bowling no balls, which in cricket's when you step over the line, and so you can't get out when someone bowls a no ball. And he's yelling out to the umpire, hey, umpire, don't you call no balls? And he's so far away he can't tell. And I'm turning to him and going, I think actually he's putting his foot on the line and sliding forward, so I think it's okay. And he's like, no. And it was just like, it's so uncomfortable and so awkward. And I was just like, this guy needs to just calm down.
Yeah.
But anyway, we digress.
Yeah, we did. From Bobby Fischer to soccer to cricket, there you go.
And to parents at sport. All right, let's get into the questions, Alois. We've got some good ones today. I quite like this one from Jaden, who says, can people stand on the table after winning the match?
Well, apparently, we saw Ma Long's celebration after winning the World Championships last year, where he did jump up onto the table because he was just so excited. But guys, I don't recommend it.
You don't think so? You don't think next time someone wins a match just at their local pennant, they should just jump up on the table and just give the big fist pump? That would be awesome to see.
Probably not. They might end up having to clean the table up off the floor. A funny story. Went to and did an exhibition at a boys' detention centre here long time ago, and so we got one of the wardens out to play with us, and the kids were all standing around, and I did a backspin ball, and the ball sort of landed on the table, and it came back towards me, and this big guy, this big warden, goes to try and hit it, and goes to try and hit it, and goes to try and hit it, and then he falls on the table, and the table just split down the middle. He ends up on the floor, the table all on top of him, and the boys thought it was hilarious. So, So guys, don't try and jump on the table after a match, especially your local club. I mean, your local club spends a lot of effort raising money to pay for those tables. Don't break them. But Ma Long, he was on solid ground, like those tables, those show courts are like rocks. So yeah, you are allowed to apparently, but no, don't do it.
All right, very good. All right, next question is from Christian. And Christian says, I realized that my forehand topspin is quite unstable. And this might be a good one for you, Alois, because you were quite unstable too. Sometimes I end up lifting the ball too much and off the end of the table. The contact is too flat and the ball goes into the net. Can you provide me with some key factors to work on?
Okay. So, Christian, the key here is to just be able to firstly establish a good, solid forehand technique. So we have, from here to here. This is your forehand technique. Then we just need to adjust for subtle variations that happen because of the different spins that are on the ball, the different heights that are on the ball. And, it doesn't take much. So it's only the change between this angle and this angle, or here and here sometimes, to get that ball on the table. So that's why practice is so important. When you're practicing, if you're getting someone to block to you, get them to block consistently to start with, but then get them to start to block a little bit slower, a little bit faster, a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Get them to put a little bit of topspin on the ball as well, because that will then start to teach you the subtle variations that you need in your swing to get that ball on the table. It's the next step forward when you're learning a skill. So first up, it's that base stroke, that base ability, and then we start to use the variations to extend our skill ability. And that's what you need to then work on now, Christian. Just in practice, get that subtle variation of the ball that's coming to you and learn the differences. I can't sit here and tell you now with the more topspin, you need to adjust your angle to 82 degrees instead of 83.5. Doesn't work. It's about immersing yourself in it. It's about practicing it, getting as many opportunities as you can to hit against those different types of balls and make those subtle variations. It's only the subtle changes of the angle or the subtle changes of the swing that help you to get that ball on the table. The other thing that will help you a lot, though, is to make sure that you are getting some good topspin on the ball. If you're generating topspin yourself, then you're getting a nice dipping arc on the ball, which gives you a better margin for error over the net. Yep.
That's a good point, Alois, because he mentions here that he's hitting the ball too flat and it's sometimes going in the net or sometimes off the end of the table. And I think that's probably a common problem when people are first learning the topspin. Are there any good tips for teaching people how to brush that ball with the forehand topspin?
Yeah, so in our lessons, we talk a lot about the start and finish position of the stroke. If you hit those two spots with your bat, so start and finish, then you almost have to brush the ball on contact, but you can also focus on that contact point. So contact the ball by just brushing the ball as softly and lightly as you can as well, and then sometimes flatten it out and just feel the differences between those two, between the flat and the brush, and then work towards more brush spin.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think even if you concentrate on that brushing action, just after a while, make sure you're still getting the right start and finish positions for that brushing contact, and then you'll end up with a really good stroke. Yeah, good advice there, Alois. And great question, Christian. It's a good skill to work on. Keep going with it. Once you develop that forehand topspin, the game becomes really fun. So keep going, Christian. Next up is a question from Emmanuel, who says, I struggle in not knowing if the ball has no spin. Is there a way I can judge the ball, and how do I practice hitting against flat shots? Should my arm swing be restricted?
Yeah, so firstly, recognizing the flat ball. Watch the ball really carefully. Sometimes you will see the label coming at you when the ball's a bit flatter, or you'll see that the label isn't spinning very fast. But it's also just the flight of the ball. So the spinning ball, the top spin will tend to dip quickly. The heavy backspin will tend to float a bit more. The flat ball will tend to float in a different manner. So it's about recognizing those different flights of the ball, and also recognizing the contact of your opponent to see when they're hitting that ball a bit flatter. So that's the one thing. Then to deal with that flatter ball, it's about generating spin yourself. So if you then brush the ball nicely, you're going to get that same dipping action that we talked about in the previous question. So by getting the dipping on the ball, you're going to give yourself a better margin for error over the net. So that's the main things. Watch the ball really carefully to recognize the flat ball, and brush the ball to generate the top spin of your own. Often the flat ball won't come through to you as much. So you do need to move into the ball or in closer to the table when you see that flatter ball, and then still generate that top spin on the ball.
Yeah, so in answer to should I restrict my swing, not really, huh?
No. In fact, you should make sure you really extend your swing fully, because that's the way that you're going to generate the top spin. If you restrict your stroke, then you're not going to generate as much spin. So that flat ball is going to tend to fly back flat, and you're not going to get that nice dip on the ball that you're looking for. That nice
Absolutely. Yeah, excellent. All right, great question, Emmanuel, and keep working on it. As we always say, spin or no spin, it's the hardest part of the game. So, once you keep improving at that, you're going to find it a lot more fun and you'll get a lot better. All right, Alois, I want people to go to pingskills.com and put in their email address to sign up for our free newsletter. If they haven't, do that now, pingskills.com. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Thanks, everyone, for watching or listening if you're on the podcast. And as always, thank you, Alois.
And thanks, Jeffrey. And we will see you tomorrow. I'm going to get into Spin Catcher day 9, I think. Day 9.
Awesome. Wow. It is. Right.
Yep.
And I'll do some table tapper. All right, we will catch you tomorrow. Enjoy your table tennis, everyone.